Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stamping Up demonstrator, based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. I was looking for something which I still couldn't find, but I found something that will work for you. So, welcome tonight, whether you're watching live or on replay. Tonight, wait a minute, I'll just put you down to my desk. Tonight, I'm going, wait a minute, I've changed a few things up here. Um, that's what I wanted. Sorry. Tonight I'm going to be showcasing how to do wreath cards if you don't necessarily have, you know, the products to do it. And there aren't a lot of wreath ideas. There is this one stamp set, which I really like, and it's a new version. First one that Stamping Up's brought out. Oh, so just picture this in there. So there's the wreath, but it's actually a builder stamp, so you can actually build around it. So this, and you'll see, will actually right now. So maybe it fits down here. It fits somewhere. It genuinely does. Oh, there, that's where it fits. So it fits there, and then the other one will obviously fit on the other side. So keep your eye out for builder stamps because I think we'll have a lot of non-Christmas ones. Well, not a lot, a few coming up. So this is a version of this card that we're going to be making tonight. Wait a sec. I have just got a company. You know what that means, don't you? I know. So a version of this. So I'm not making this one, um, but I mean, I really like this one, but I didn't want to do any heat embossing, but you can see how gorgeous it is. Now, what happens here with this one, it's quite a big stamp, so I had to actually alter the size of the front layer and also the card base. Now, before we get started, I do want to tell you about a special offer that is currently occurring. Now, it's two special offers, and you get to pick which one is yours. If you would interested in getting a starter kit, Stamping Up currently has, well, what they say and what I say is probably the best starter kit offer ever. I don't think I've ever seen one as good as this. So for for $60, you get $235 worth of product of your choice. Now I'm going to show you what that actually looks like. $60. I mean, really, that is, I don't even know what fits is about $60, but probably two of our really nice designer series papers, two packs of that would make $60 or just under $60. Hi Glenda, how are you? So I'm the other offer before I show you what this would actually look like, obviously with your goodies in it, is for $169, which is what the starter kit normally costs. You can get $344 worth of products of your choice. So if you need products, that's a good offer. But if you're trying to keep the cost down, this is a super offer. And I think this is the one that most people have been taking because $60 is amazing to get $235 worth of products. So basically, you're getting 75% off, especially when you take into account that there's free shipping as well. Now, I'm just going to give you a little idea what 200 and, oh, wait a minute, I need to turn this on. Just putting a light on. What $265, sorry, $235 worth of goodies could look like. I just picked up anything sitting around my office. So, and this selection here came to $236.75, so slightly over. but you get the idea of how much you can get. So in $235, I could have had 2 bundles of these 2 bundles. I could have got some embellishments. I could have got some adhesive as well. I could have got my favorite designer series paper, which is foil. And this is, because it's foil, it's the more expensive one. So I threw it in because it's so popular. Selling out really quick, and just some basic white cardstock. So you can get your choice of all of this for just $60. And you get to choose how you want to be a demonstrator. That's a pretty good offer. Of course, if you go for the like $169 starter kit, you could add on lots more. You could even add on nearly add on the calendar, the countdown calendar, advent calendar. Nearly. You'd have to drop a couple of these things off, and that would bring it up to $344. It is an amazing offer, and it only runs for October. And if you did it today, to say this, you could pick some kits and get 30 and up to 30% off for those as well. Now, what you would normally get for $60, I had a bit of trouble with this. You wouldn't even get that for $60. This is $68.75. So what an offer. So I'll put this out of the way. And if you are interested, my team of demonstrators would welcome you with open arms. So no matter where you live in Australia, you would be welcome. So let's get started on some crafting, because that's what we're all here for. Now, whilst I showed you this card, this will be the second card I make. I'm going to make another card, made a little different, and I was actually inspired by this wreath that I did a couple of years ago. Now, these products don't exist anymore, but you can see the idea. I'll put it up a little closer. It's got probably 3 different layers coming up in different colors. It's got the flash of red for the bow, and also for the sentiment. Sentiment's faded a little bit because it's in a bright room. But I just thought I can do a small version of this, a tiny version. And I can use what I have that doesn't even belong to a Christmas wreath. So I'm going to do a square card because the circle, I think, looks really good on a square card. So this is some old olive cardstock. It's 9 inches. I'm pretty sure. Better check that. Let's just check that. It's 9 inches by 4.5 inches. So that's how I get my square. So I folded that, scored that at 4.5. So pretty easy. Then I wanted to add a red layer to give it some brightness and to coordinate with some of the products that we're going to be using tonight. And then I just have a white layer that I'll actually, that's the wrong one. That's the insert that I will actually be doing the wreath on. Now, as you can see, this is 3 3/4 inches square. So I'm going to rub that out if I can find my rubber. Let's hope I can. Of course I can't, but I've got lots of rubbers around. Even when I've cleaned out my craft room, hopefully you saw my video, and it took me genuinely months. And yes, it is so much easier to work in, but still pretty quick to make a mess in too. Rightio, so let's get going. So to do my wreath, I've just picked up a die, and I've used one of, I think, the second largest from the Stylish Shapes, because I just wanted a circle. Grab a pencil, place it in the middle, This just gives me a little bit of the guide. You won't see the pencil marks, and if I do, I can always rub it out later. So I have not designed this card. I've got an idea of what I want to do, so I've done some of the die cutting. So there's my circle, and I've done it fairly lightly because I didn't want it to be showing through. Now I picked up, and I can't now remember, isn't this terrible? Oh, I do know. This little stamp set, which comes on a curve like that from the Jolly Holly stamp set. So it's that one there. Now, interestingly, I didn't actually buy the bundle, and as every time I don't buy the bundle, I regret it. So having buyer's remorse that I didn't get the bundle, but this will work pretty well. Now, I decided that I wanted a little bit of depth, so I'm going to be doing the stamping in Mossy Meadow and the die cutting on top in Old Olive. So let's just get started. Now, what I do is I line up the center. I'm hoping you can see the center where the stem is at both top and bottom. Gives me a bit of an idea. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. Can I just tell you that now? And you will have lots of versions of this. And interestingly, what I thought I had, I didn't have. That one wasn't close to perfect, but that's okay. So I had to make do. And I mean, I think that's sometimes what we have to do to get the most use out of our stash. I'll just finish that one off in the center. I know. So you can see it's not perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm putting my Mossy Meadow away. And I'm bringing out my light Mossy Meadow blend. Now, there's no art to this. I am just going to flip some colour into these, and I'll pick the light just to give it a bit of texture. I'm not spending time on this. One, we haven't got time, but also it still looks really good. Just flipped like that. And some of the bigger ones you've got to do a bit more. And you know that when I do blending, even a little bit more serious than this, but I do like some white space anyway. And you're hardly going to see this. This just gives it that extra layer. I know, done. How quick was that? And you can already see it popping just up. Now you can see I haven't done it perfectly, but you get the idea that there's a wreath coming along. Now, I have done some die cutting to save some time because I only had little tiny leaves that went in the right direction, and I'll show you what I mean. See how my stamp goes this way? Now your stamp, depending on which one you pick, may actually want to curve. To get the curve, you can see, so that's why, but if I want to turn it around this way, it's curving the wrong way. So you've got to pick one that goes with your curve. This one worked well, but I did have some other little die cuts from another set, and this one just didn't seem to work. See how it sits out? Whereas this one goes kind of in the right direction. And I want to set it, have it offset. Now I'm not going to pop it up at this stage. Where's my, I don't know. Can I blame Kiko? Mind you, ask me why I'm not doing the heat embossing. There is a very good reason for that. Now, when I'm applying the glue, I'm only putting it on the bottom because I want to be able to slip. I'm just going to put that there. I want to be able to slip the other one underneath. So it's a little, so you can see, I hadn't tried this. I just thought this was going to work, and I think it will. But depending on, I've only got a really small stem, but it'll still work. And it's one of those, I'm just reading some of the messages. Hi, Gail. So let's, now you don't have to follow the line perfectly. Where are those little green hooers? Now, I did this in Old Olive. This is going to be in, sorry, I did this in Mossy Meadow. This is going to be in Old Olive, just to give a little bit more texture. Oops. Now, if I had one of those, like a pine tree die cut, I would have definitely have used that. But I don't have that in my stash. So let's make what I do have in my stash actually work. And as with all these things, you got to wait till you get to the end. Kind of need a pokey tool for this. Oh, it didn't work. My hands are getting a bit sticky. So I'm just keeping to that circle. As I said, if I had a bigger leaves, I would have used them, but I didn't. So it's about improvising, which is part of the fun of all of this. Hopefully I've got enough of these die cut. And if I've cut a few more, I'll add layers. We'll see. It's not difficult. Probably the most difficult part. Oh, I didn't finish the heat embossing story. Kiko came, it was dinner time, and Kiko jumped up to help me out. Is that the word? And stepped in it and it fell on the floor. So at the moment, I have swept it up, but it's had a few other bits and pieces in it. So I really couldn't use it. So you can see how we've now made a wreath nearly, and it wasn't difficult. I just die cut, and as I said, mine are the smallest pieces. I'm sure you've probably got a lot different bigger dies that would go around here really well. Stamping Up have quite a few. We have so many dies. Oh, yeah. I've got one more to put on. And I've got a couple left over, so I will do something with those. Not going to waste them after I cut them all out. So there's my wreath. You can see it's now got a bit of texture. So let's add. Now I've got a couple of choices here. I've got two left over. And so I may just pop these up, add a few little dimensional strips. I'm going to use my mini dimensionals and just cut off a few little pieces that I can use to pop up. Now I'm cutting pieces because I want it even smaller than what a mini dimensional is. Put that there. There's this other one that jumped away. Put this one here. And as I've only got 2 pieces, now if I had die cut more, where's my pokey tool? I don't know. Then I'll put add some glue just down the bottom. Now, have I got a top and a bottom? Have I got any holes anywhere? I kind of like that the best. So I don't really have, oh, that one came off. This, these dimensionals are pretty old, to be honest. I know. So I can just snip this under here. Where are we? Snip that under there, put it there, and then do the same on the other one. Now there's no right or wrong here. You kind of make your wreath and make it work as you go. So that just, you can see how now I've got a little bit more dimension on there. Dimension on there. I've got a little tip that I think you'll enjoy, because you know I talk constantly about the ephemera packs that we have. So let's pop this up here, stick that down there, hide it a little bit. I don't know. Now it'd be really nice if I had taken the backing off those. So I'll just grab one of my mini pokey tools that are hiding here. So one of these I didn't, which one? This one. I know. Probably this one I didn't. No, it's right. It was only that one I didn't take off. Rightio. So there's my wreath. It still needs a little bit more, I think. So I'm going to pop it onto here. Now I've got a red bow here. So, and I've got some red to pop it up. Now I could it's the old story. If everything isn't perfect and you're adding stuff, so my bow might go there. And I've picked this from the ephemera pack, so that can go across there. And I might just put the bow underneath it. I want to pop this up to give it a little bit of dimension. So again, I think I'm going to have to use my really old, I should just throw these out, minis. Just going to cut this off. Whoops. Now, these come as stickers, but I've decided, remember, that I want to pop this up. I don't want to take the backing off. I'll keep it as it is. Hopefully I haven't done this too thick. Have I done it too thick? Ooh, I think I have. I'm going to have to trim that down just a bit. So it's better. So you can see that'll go across there. Now I've got these little berries. Now those leaves came from, those leaves there that I just used comes from a non-Christmas stamp set called, non-Christmas die set called Gallery Blooms. So I've used this die here to cut those out. And these little berries that I've done die cut in red come from the branching out bundle. So it's this one here. So let's see. I'm not going to put that down yet, but you can see. Let's add a little bit, a few little red berry pieces. Now, these might be a bit big, so let's just gives a little bit of a colour pop. Now, I'm not going to put them exactly on the quarters. I've only got 4 die cut. I could do more. And remember, I'm going to split these a little bit. So let's put a little one there. I don't want these really to stick down too much. And I've got another one here. Just trim that off. I'm just working my way around. This is one of those projects that, I don't know, it just makes me happy because it's building something. And you don't necessarily, I've got glue all over my fingers. You don't necessarily know what it's building yet. You have an idea of how it'll come together, but not completely. What's everybody saying? Those berries certainly look good. I don't. Those berries just add texture, colour, make it a little brighter. And as I said, if I need more, I'll just use some of the bits that I cut off. I may not. As I said, they don't have to be exactly in the same place. I'm just putting them around. Now, who started on their Christmas cards? Oh. Sorry, just dropped my pokey tool. Who started on their Christmas cards yet? I think I've got to say that I have, because I've done a fair bit. I think I've probably done about 30 so far. 30 different ones, because you know me. Only do one of everything, not 2 of anything. Otherwise, it gets a bit boring. And we'll just add the last one in here. What's happening here? All right. Let's cut that off. There. So now we've got a little bit of the red to pop it up. Now I'm going to put this card together before I do the last little bit. I may regret it because I may want some ribbon on it, but we'll see. So now, which way would you put this if this was you? Would you keep it so it sits like that, so a portrait card, or would you leave it as a landscape? Open this way traditionally or like this? Leave a message. Let me know. Oh my goodness. Glenda's just told me that she's finished her Christmas cards. Oh, I'm not that close. So I'm going to pop this layer up because it gives a little, I don't know, it makes it look a little flasher, I always think. I've got all these beautiful layers on it. And I don't know. My cry frame doesn't look as neat and tidy as it did early this morning. So what's everybody saying? Which way? No, not I. I know we haven't. I don't think you've caught up with me yet. So I think we'll do it like that. Now, here's my season's greetings. So we'll put it across there. I said I've popped it up and I've got a bow still to go on. So I think the bow is going to go under there. So let's pop this on. This is like build a card. Have no real idea what I was going to do. I knew what I was going to use. So I just want to show you how gorgeous that is. And then I'm going to show you a quick trick with that. Not that one, because I liked the white background in this one. Now, to make this bow, it comes in one die cut, but has 3 little bits. And now one of them escaped. There it is. This little square is going to be the bit that escapes all the time. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to add a little bit of my multi-purpose glue there. And then this little square sits on top. There's a right and a wrong side. My fingers are very sticky. And probably a set of tweezers would work, which will be somewhere here. I don't know. And this is going to just sit there. So it's got a bit of colour, it's got a bit of texture. And I'll use some of my mini. Oh, I think they need to go in the bin, to be honest. Always have 1,000 of these started, as you'll see. Now, I'll put one there. That little square shifted on me. Anyway, let's do this and I'll put that back in a second. And I think this might fit down the bottom here. I'll put it on the right way. Might just fit. I could cut them, but let's just make it work. I don't know. So I love the ephemera packs because it's got the gold foil, but I'm going to show you a quick tip for them because there's so many in the pack. I'm fast going through them. So let's just put that. Oh, there. Oh, where's my little square go? Oh, there it is. Just put it in there in the middle. And I'll put my square back on. This time I'll do it a little differently. A bit more glue. It's a little. There we go. So, get rid of that for a second. On the inside, I've got a layer that I'm going to. And normally I'd stamp that first just in case something goes wrong, but I've got faith. Hopefully I've got faith. Now, I've got this little red berry here, so let's use it. Don't waste it. Make it pop. Really need to. Let's just put that in the corner there. How cute. And I've got a really simple sentiment. So I've got season's greeting on the front. Actually, I'm going to pick a different one. I'm going to pick, you can see the ones I use all the time. Let's there. So this one says, and it's from the Jolly Holly stamp set again. This one says, wishing you and yours all the best. So we're going to put this like this. Where's my red ink? Oh, I put it away. I changed it up. So what do you think of this card? Doesn't even hardly uses any Christmas. Get rid of that little piece of paper on there. Nothing like doing it with a pokey tool, so it's a bit dangerous. Rightio. So there's the card. Now, you know me, I've got this Wink of Stella love affair at the moment, so let's just add some Wink of Stella to some of the bits. It's a bit dry. Right, let's see. That might help. Yep. So now it's got a little bit of sparkle, and on those little berries, don't have to be perfect. Rightio. So there's a wreath card, and it's pretty. I really, really like it. Now, before I move on, I want to show you what you can do, if I can find them, with the, I think they are, the ephemera pack. Now, just say, I've been using it as white because most of my cards, it matches perfectly. But sometimes you actually want it to be coloured. Where's one that I can, Merry and Bright, I won't use it very often. Well, I don't think I will. Who knows? Now, I can make it green. I want to show you. There's a lot of different ways I can do this. I'm going to, so I can just apply some ink, just using the ink pad. So now I've turned it green. How easy was that? Now, what you want to do, where's my rat? Who would be asleep on my wiper upper? And then I'll just wipe it over and you can see the sentiment really pops. So how great. I mean, now I can make these whatever colour I like. So I'll put that one away back in the case. And you can see. Love it, love it, love it. Such a good little quick technique. Rightio, so there's card one. So everybody said standing up. Thank heavens you did that because you know me. you come on a little slow sometimes between when I ask the question. Now, I want to show you a different way of doing this original card. We've got everything cut out for this, so it won't take very long. This time, I've used the, what is it called? I've got it out of my desk somewhere, I thought. It's called, it's this paper here, Full of Life, which I'm pretty sure carried over. It's full of these really bright colours. So it was perfect. It's 6x6. So the perfect size for this. And I just picked something with a bit of a background on it. I'm going to get my big stamp, which comes from the wonderful, I showed it to you before. What's it called? Wonderful, Most Wonderful. I don't. So this time I'm going to be using shaded spruce. Oh, I've inked it up. I'll re-ink it just in case I took a bit off. Now this was just to save me having to, I want to put it long and yeah, it's too wide. So it goes up and down. I'm going to place it in the middle. Righto. So there's my wreath, really simple. Now, it's a nice wreath, but it needed more. So what I did, so I put it on shaded spruce, that's hard for me to say, so that it will have that pop of colour. And you can see the blue kind of disappears, but I have, just here, I'm going to add a little blue flag, which comes from the party pennants, which I want to be using, and I haven't had time yet. Look how many are there. So I'm using one of the smaller ones, just enough for the sentiment in the centre. Now you can get these in your starter kit. I know, so I'm going to glue this down. Keep this nice and simple. You can see how bright the paper is. I picked probably the plainest. But we have Stamping Up, their B-side on Designer Series paper is so good for these sort of projects. Now this says, most wonderful time of the year. So it actually fits in there, but I'm doing it on a separate little flag. Just want to make sure I put this on the right way. That's year. Make a bit of space. Again, I'm going to be doing the shaded spruce. Now, who told you that blue and green should never be seen? Well, we're going to be putting it to the test here. I know, I had it upside down. Lucky, I checked. Now, I want to, hopefully, I get this about right. Now, if I had put the sticker on the back, would be a lot easier. Oh, that's pretty good. So that's just going to sit there. I'm going to pop it up with some dimensionals. I'm trying to go a little faster here. I don't want to go over time, whatever time that may be. Season's greetings look so good. Glad you like that card. So here we go. We're going to put this down. Doesn't really matter where. You're just going to line it up in the center and probably top and bottom. So put that like that. So you can see some of the, I'm coming back to that. I've just got stuff on my desk that I'd like to get rid of. And as I always say, stamp before you stick down, except when you're doing live, because I'm going to be brave. And this time, my sentiment says, may the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. It's just a nice one. Ooh. And I've got a little piece of cardstock I can put at the bottom, maybe not that one. Ooh, I think we might, where's my, my trimmer has warped. Oh, here it is. I'm on the computer. Oh. Let's get rid of this. I've already just stuck my finger in it. Just going to cut this down. Obviously, I want to keep as much of the green as possible. And so what I should have done was obviously stuck this down first and then cut it off. But anyway, we'll do something here. I'm sure it'll work. running out of space, even with a clean desk. So, because need to trim that just a smidgen off before it dries. There we go. There's the inside. Now we've got to make this a little fancier. So I want did some little leaves. So I'm going to pick which one of these I like the most. Probably like this one again. How does it fit though? That's the issue. Oh, I think that'll work. I'll just cut the stem off. Stick this down. I'm going to put it, not going to add any dimension. Don't want to make my life harder than it is. I like how I say that, as if my life is hard. There we go. Still too plain, and I know that. Needs some, I think it kind of needs some white. I think it needs white twine. Let's grab some white twine. And where are we? Ooh, here's a little bit of white twine. I haven't bought any white twine for a little while. This is all I've got left, I think. Okay, so let's do a nice big bunny-eared bow. And if you haven't been watching me lately, oops, that didn't work. Now I've got to do that again. If you watch me regularly, you'll know that I talk about bows all the time. And really, it's not how you tie the bow, it's the work you do after you tie the bow. So I just use bunny ears, which there's a few videos online that show you how to do bunny ears. But however you tie a bow, this is where the work is done now. So I pull it tight, pull it through a little bit. I'm kind of just fiddle with it a little bit. Okay, so that's going to go like across there. Need some glue dots. I just want that there. Trim it up a little bit. It's still a little plain, let's be honest. So I've got some of these antique pearls, which is interesting to add antique pearls to something that's a little modern. But let's give it a go. I think it will just make it pop a little bit more. I can put one up here. I'm using the big ones because I don't use them very often. And we'll put this down here. And maybe some of these little tiny ones, maybe just, I don't know. See, this is what happens, isn't it? Will I, won't I? I'm just going to add a couple or three. Where? Maybe there. And one more on the other side. These are cute. These. Now I don't want any lines here, so it really has to go and sit up here. So there's the card. Now it looks completely different, which tells you you can change the products up completely and you wouldn't even recognize the card. So which one do you like? The shaded spruce or more traditional one, the real red? Leave a message and then I'll know which one we might be doing for our next class. I don't know. Got a few classes coming up. So I'll just show you the card. So that's the one I just did. And it's got that on the inside. And then this was the original. So same design, exactly the same design. And I've got to say, well, this one, well, between them, they're a case of something that was in the catalogue because I really like the idea of putting this together. Now, let me know which one you like. And that's it for tonight. So this card, as you can see, was a quick and easy card, especially when you didn't have to heat emboss. But how good does that look? Who would have thought blue and green go together? But they actually do in this card or in this project. Don't forget that if you've ever thought of becoming a demonstrator or you've been a demonstrator in the past and would like to be a demonstrator again, I'm just going to finish with showing you how gorgeous. $60. You can have all this for $60, which is a pretty good deal. And got to be honest, I put expensive items. Our most expensive designer series paper, 2 bundles, some of our really nice embellishments, and just some adhesive because, as you know, I use it all the time. So if you are interested, you can join online, you can give me a call, send me a text if you've got any questions. It is such a good deal. So for $60, you can get to pick $235 of products that you'd enjoy using. It's going to be hard because we have so many amazing products to actually choose from. Thanks, everybody. Oh, the real red for Myrtle. Glenda liked both cards. So I'm not sure anyone it's been a really clear winner for this. I'm thinking I actually like the green. It's a little simpler. I like that color scheme and I love the blue going to the green in this one. Anyway, thanks everybody. Now, next week, no Facebook Live. I'm actually heading down to Brisbane to see Pretty Woman. Pretty Woman? Yeah, Pretty Woman, which I'm really, really looking forward. So a few friends are heading down and so I won't be back in time. So thanks everybody. I will see you in 2 weeks if I don't do a makeup live. Who knows? I try to. I did 3 lives this week, one with Christine, one of my craft room, and then tonight. So I have been pumping out the lives. Bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you liked tonight's projects. And if you did, make sure you subscribe to my Facebook page or my YouTube page. Now, I am encouraging everybody to watch on YouTube and leave comments on YouTube because Facebook delete lives after 30 days. It's not just my live, it's everybody's lives. So if you want to keep your comments and so that I can see them, watch on Facebook. Oh, sorry, YouTube. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.